Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and for the next hour, we're going to focus a little bit on fire safety, both inside and outside. Although, hopefully, you're not spending too much time outside right now because it's a little chilly. As always, I would like to encourage you to email me at talk@bcattv.org should you have a suggestion for a future topic. I would like to thank the crew for this evening for giving up their Wednesday evening. Chris Flaherty, one of the staff members, is always ready to help, making sure us volunteers kind of know what we're doing. So we do not have to call my guest, whom you will meet momentarily. I also would like to thank our volunteers, Jesse O'Regan, Lucian Gates, and Gwyneth McNamee for giving up their evenings, especially since they have midterms tomorrow. So thank you. And I'd like to thank my husband, Paul, for staying home for daddy date night. However, he's grocery shopping so the children do not starve. So anyway, thank you, Paul. My guest is the wonderful and soon to be famous, or are you already famous, Andrew Connerty. I knew I'd screw it up. Hi, Andy.
Hi.
You signed your emails, Andy, so I'm kind of hoping that you...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for the last minute scramble of, yeah, I'm free tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
I usually like to give my guests a little bit more warning, so I do appreciate that. So.
No problem.
So, as I like to begin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and okay, yeah, you just told me right before we started how you came to the Burlington area, and then kind of your career path.
Yeah, I grew up on South Bedford Street in Burlington. My parents moved from Somerville in 1969, so I was 2.
Okay.
I don't remember. So
Yeah, probably not.
I guess you'd call me a Somerville native, but I consider myself a Burlington native.
Cool.
So.
And you just never left, or yet?
No, never, never left. This town has been very, good to my family. My mother was a secretary here in this building.
Oh, wow. For the high school or for like?
First, in the high school, first in the guidance department, and then.
There's a lot going on in this building. That's why I was just kind of like,
Yep. Then she was the principal's secretary, and that was great having her there. Could get my lunch money every day.
Just say, yeah.
Mom, I need a second lunch. I need another 75 cents so I can get another lunch. That's how much it cost back then.
Oh my gosh. I think our elementary school, it was 35 cents. And it was a little pink ticket for lunch and a little white ticket for milk.
Yeah. Yeah, so she actually was here since the building opened.
Okay.
Since retired and passed on, but my father was a firefighter in Cambridge, and he had to retire, but he was weaved into the fabric of this community. He was a member of the Knights of Columbus, and held signs for people for their political campaigns, and just a regular Burlington guy.
Regular guy.
Yep. So he drove, I think it was the original Council on Aging van.
Oh, okay.
I have an old newspaper clipping of it.
Oh, cool.
So I'd have to find it in my mess, but.
I thought you were going to say, he and Al Fay used to drive the fire truck all over the place.
No, my father was a Cambridge firefighter. But, when he retired, people knew him.
Okay.
So
mentioning that your dad was also a firefighter, it seems like everybody my audience isn't like that big, but every firefighter that I've talked to tends to have a firefighter parent or uncle, or like it stays in the family.
Yeah.
Is that still like kind of true with your crew and your staff?
Yeah, a lot of our guys. There's
I know it's not a requirement, but
there's another guy who's firefighter. His father was a firefighter in Cambridge. His grandfather was a firefighter in Cambridge.
the rebel had to move to Burlington.
I know. So yeah, I think because they see, what's good about the job.
Okay.
Enjoyable, fun, exciting. So, if you're a little bit of an adventure seeker,
Okay.
you don't mind putting yourself out there and
I think you need to be more than just a little bit of the adrenaline rush.
yeah. And then just, it's really nice just helping people, in their worst times a lot of time. Just being that helping hand to get them through whatever they're going through at the time.
You're a superhero
No.
that doesn't wear a cape. Okay. Sorry. So, is that kind of why you ended up going into? Well, it seems like that is why you chose this career.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you want to go through the ranks to eventually become chief? Because it seems more administrative, at least in my
It
not
is,
so humble
yeah.
opinion, than,
Yeah.
jumping on the truck and.
Yeah, so back probably 2010, Lee Callahan became the chief,
Okay.
and he addressed the members of the department at a meeting, and he
Okay.
said, don't just sit around and let things happen to you. You have to make them happen.
Oh, that's good advice.
And I heeded his advice, and I didn't start, but I got more into taking college classes for
Okay.
fire science and studying for promotional exams and taking classes at the Mass Fire Academy, just to,
Okay. Is that the one out in Stowe?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's one, the original one's in Stowe. Now there's one in Springfield
Okay.
and
That's where I
Bridgewater.
grew up. Almost. And where's the other one?
Bridgewater,
Bridgewater. Oh, okay.
yeah. So they have them spread out to serve the different areas of the state.
Okay. Is there a lot of collaboration with like other states or other agencies or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I've been in classes where there's guys from New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
So-
If there's openings
Okay.
in the class, first and foremost, they open it up to Massachusetts
Okay.
firefighters. And Mass Fire Academy, all that training is free. And it's paid.
Cool.
It's paid for through your, primarily through your insurance premiums,
Oh, okay.
home insurance premiums.
Okay.
So
Now,
their goal is to get the firefighters trained to
keep the insurance costs down.
keep the insurance costs down.
Get it.
Yep.
When you attend the academy,
Mm-hmm.
is it a requirement to have a job with a department?
Yes.
Okay, so you can't just say, I want to be a firefighter, so I'm going to go to the academy and hopefully get a job afterwards.
Right. You have to be affiliated with a fire department.
Okay, kind of be
Yeah.
almost like a sponsor.
Yeah. So our usual practice is when we hire someone, their first day is they're going out to the academy. We've kind of modified that a little bit because we need to do some administrative stuff
Okay,
a couple of weeks beforehand.
got it.
But yeah, they generally don't have any firefighter experience,
Okay,
and they go out to the academy and
they learn.
they learn. Yep.
So what happens if
10
they
weeks.
like go and decide, I don't want to do this. I'm not ready to jump into a burning building to save someone. Does that happen frequently?
Not too frequently,
Okay.
no. Most of the time, guys leave the academy, and girls leave the academy because of an injury, and then they try
Okay.
to cycle back in when they get well.
Got it.
But yeah, there are some that say, this isn't for me.
Hopefully they find out sooner rather than, too much of an investment.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned fire science.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that like arson, just,
Well,
investigation and stuff
it's-
like that?
Yep. There is a arson class.
Okay.
But it's sprinkled about, all the different topics.
Oh, okay.
Arson, hydraulics, fire prevention, all of the stuff you got to read in a book and study, and it's less of the knocking down doors, barging in, spraying water on a fire. It's the science of
Okay. How to slide down the pole and then climb back up it? No. Do any fire departments still have the pole?
we have a pole in our new station.
Oh,
They
anybody use it?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
They took it out of the old station well before I was there.
Okay.
Headquarters, I mean.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
and
sure if you meant
actually,
like the old station number 2.
They took it out of Station 2 as well. But then I think both of those were deemed unsafe anyway, the way they were constructed.
Yeah, because
So-
probably when they were built, the standards may have been a little bit different.
Yeah. So the one we have at Station 2 is
Okay.
safe.
Got it. Have you done it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I,
Okay.
I might do it my last day.
Okay. That sounds cool. So we are actually, I invited you to talk more about like fire prevention and fire safety to make your job a little bit easier, or your crew's job a little bit easier. So part of it is like, okay, I know we're not Los Angeles, but those fires have been raging and like total destruction. Probably could see it from the moon even. I don't know. It's just,
I'm sure, yeah.
and back in the fall, it seemed like there were a lot of brush fires around here.
Yes.
What are the causes primarily? Do they know what caused the LA fires?
I hear bits and pieces, but it's not,
Okay.
real.
I
truth.
know that's
mean,
spreading because of,
Yeah.
of the high winds, and it's been pretty
Yeah.
windy around here too.
Yeah, malfunction of electrical equipment is
Okay.
sometimes blamed, but you can't say that
Okay.
for sure.
It's really hard to prove. Okay.
When the winds whip up out there, they send the wires swinging. Sometimes they break and fall
Okay.
off.
Well, just the
They're
flames.
supposed to shut down the transmission lines when they have high
Okay.
winds.
Unless, of course, the transmission line building is like gone. I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to like contain brush fires or wildfires?
Well, wildfires are
Wild.
much larger, and we don't have a lot of experience
Okay.
on the East Coast. Wildfires are pretty much West Coast, Northwest, and Southwest
Okay.
Florida. But here it's brush,
Okay.
forest fires.
Okay. Yeah, like Breakheart Reservation, the past couple of
yeah.
years have had like issues with fires.
Yep. Yep.
So, and it always like amazes me, like watching on TV news stories about the helicopters dropping the water. Just doesn't seem to have like any impact. I mean, it's a little tiny thing of water, which is really several hundred gallons, but the fire's just so big. How do you fight something like that? How do you control it?
Yeah, just continuous work. Lots of water,
Okay.
making brake lines, digging,
Okay.
trying to make a fire stop where you can contain it.
Okay.
So, but the weather has to cooperate. The wind has to be in your favor.
Right.
And when it shifts to where it's going to blow back to where it's already burned, that's good.
Because there's no more fuel.
Yes.
For,
Well, when it shifts towards fresh fuel, that's a problem. So.
Yeah. And you can't really control the weather.
Nope.
Not yet, anyway.
No, but you can get the weather forecast and anticipate what's going to happen. And for fires like that, you have not an all hands on deck, but we're part of a task force.
Okay.
In the Boston area is Metro Fire.
Okay.
And we have a task force of several brush trucks. We have a north team and a south team.
Okay.
And even though we're the north team, we actually went down south, and we went up north.
Oh, okay.
Just because you don't want to expend the energy and resources of like one team.
Okay.
So you kind of take turns. So
Makes sense.
there was a couple of weeks where we were in Weston and Middleborough and
Okay.
up in Braycott, or in that area.
When you do send teams through this task force or anywhere, how long is the crew there before another crew takes over? Because an 8-hour shift of that sounds exhausting
Yeah, they don't work at night.
and dangerous.
Yeah, they don't work at night, so they were typically leaving the station by 7
Okay.
and getting back by 6 or 7.
Okay.
So they go and whatever task they got assigned to do.
Okay.
So we were part of a large team. You know, Department of Fire Services has their
Okay.
people, and all of the cities and towns that have fire trucks, brush trucks,
Okay.
can go and help out.
Does Burlington have a brush truck?
We have a brush truck.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I vaguely remember like going to the Pine Gun Carnival when my kids were still in elementary school and seeing like a brush truck, or it was a different type of
Yeah.
vehicle. So I just,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a Ford F550.
Okay.
It's a pickup truck and what they call a skid on the back.
Okay.
Well, actually, that one might not be a skid, but it's like a body that has utility boxes for tools
Okay.
and
Stuff for
chains-
digging trenches. and
chainsaws,
stuff. Oh, okay.
hand tools for digging trenches, and lots and lots of forestry hose, which is a little bit bigger than a garden hose.
Which is different than another, like your normal fire
Yeah, so our normal
Why do you
hand
need, like-
line
okay.
is 1 3/4
Okay.
for like a house fire,
Okay.
or a car fire.
Why would there be a difference?
Just the volume of water needed.
Okay.
And for brush, you need to be mobile.
Oh,
And
okay.
The weight of the water in the hose.
Okay. Now, if somebody encountered, like somebody like me,
Yep.
not somebody like you because you're a trained professional, sees a brush fire, like I go to Mill Pond Reservoir and I'm walking around and there's like this fire burning. Should I try to put it out?
Well, hopefully you have your cell phone with you.
Okay.
Call 911
Okay.
right away. And I would advise you putting it out, but
Depends on how big it is.
yeah, you can be the judge of what you
Okay.
are comfortable with doing, but
Okay.
where are you going to get the water? Are you going to stomp it out?
Yeah.
It does spread quickly in some situations, so
Okay.
you don't want to get caught up in it and the wind whip up.
Because then you need the fire department and the ambulance.
Yeah, yes, we don't want that.
Is there a way that we as a community can reduce brush fires from happening? Or is it just like laws of nature?
Well, it is laws of nature, but within those laws of nature are the clues and the cues to what happens with a brush fire.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, we were called for a brush fire by Francis Wyman School entrance.
Okay. I think I remember that.
And so the guys went to the Francis Wyman School entrance. By the time they got there, the wind was blowing directly away from the school.
Okay.
I think it was Polk Street.
Yeah.
And it blew straight towards a house. And by the time they got there, it was halfway to the house. And they were like, bring in another engine.
It's like, wait, this is not what we signed up
We're
for.
not on the right side of this.
Okay.
And they couldn't reach the front of the fire that was heading towards the home. By the time we got to that side of the street, it had reached the deck.
Oh, wow.
And was lapping up the side.
Oh, no.
Compromised the gas meter that was on that side. So now it was a natural gas fed fire that just ate that house up.
Wow.
And the wind was just blowing it
Okay.
right from the point of origin to that house. I felt so
Wow.
bad for them. It was,
And your response
it was a very windy day, and I remember coming in the morning and hearing the red flag warning on the radio. Red flag warning for brush fires. So, and people with that fire were up here at the high school
Okay.
reporting an odor of smoke.
Wow.
So it was the same fire.
Wow. Because I also remember, okay, at least it's the same community, relatively same geographic area. But was it last summer there were wildfires in Canada and you'd go out your front door here and go, it's hazy, I smell smoke.
Yeah, that's up in the wildlands of Canada.
Wow.
And they don't have the ability to put them out, so they try
And
they just manage
Okay.
it, but there's really nothing that it was.
Wow.
It's just wildland that they can't get to.
Scary. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Hopefully there aren't too many brush fires this time of year.
No, snow on the ground, that's good.
However, it's really cold out. And I don't know if it's just urban legends or myths or whatever, but you hear stories about people using their regular kitchen stoves to heat the house, or people are, burning candles or space heaters. This was going to go into a question. What are those
All
like
of
the
those
most
bad.
Okay, but how can we safely stay warm without being a fire hazard at home?
Yeah, just use your heating appliances appropriately. Central heating is obviously the safest, whether it's hot air or hot water, forced hot water.
Okay.
But I know people enjoy the ambiance of a fireplace or a wood stove. Fireplace doesn't really heat
Not
very
really.
much because the heat just goes right up. But a wood stove is, can heat a room up nicely.
That's true.
But you have to be careful about how you operate that.
Okay.
Also, space heaters are good for heating, spots, areas.
Right. Yeah, because it's where I work, the office sometimes is really cold, and
Yeah.
You know, I know one of the staff members has a little space heater to keep her feet warm.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so you have to use those cautiously
Okay.
under the manufacturer's recommendations. Keep everything that's flammable away from it. So,
I'm just laughing because, you know, sometimes the warning is like, do not use in the bathtub.
yeah.
Okay. Probably means people have tried. I don't want to know. But now it seems like there are a lot of safety features that are built into something like a space heater where if it falls, it will automatically shut itself off.
Yep.
And, you know, temperatures and...
Yeah, tip over protection and overheat limits and timers. You know,
Oh, hadn't thought of that.
yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have one that will time out, then you know you should remember to turn it off when you're done.
Testing. And when you hit the power button, is it still advisable to like unplug it itself, or is it
Yeah.
just like another appliance?
All
like
appliances are recommended to be unplugged.
Okay.
You know, toasters, coffee makers. I know you unplug your coffee maker, you can't set it the night before.
Need coffee.
But
Although
yeah.
this is New England, everybody drinks iced coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although this morning I really wanted just to hold on to a cup of coffee. It was really cold. One of the things that I remember hearing about with the California fires in LA is there's so much synthetic materials, like different plastics, and insulation is, you know, we're moving away from the cottons in upholstery. And that is also fueling the fire more efficiently.
Yes.
So with all the new homes going up in Burlington, or people renovating, or people buying new furniture, new carpets, is it significant enough, and what should consumers be looking for so they're not like basically putting lighter fluid in their house?
Well,
I know it's not exactly the same, but
a lot of the furniture is, you know, synthetic fabric and synthetic structure,
okay.
and it's all oil based, and it burns hotter and faster. You can still get, you know, old legacy type made
But
furniture.
it's really not an option.
Well, you can still get stick-built furniture, but it's, I think, because of the cost of making it, you know, it's, you know, the old wood frame is still a little more expensive than the plastics.
So it's basically just part of life now.
It is, but hopefully part of life is also having smoke detectors in your home and just in general being safe in your practices at home, not overloading outlets or
like plugging power strips into your power strips.
Yep. You know, some older homes, you know, you don't want to run extension cords, but they don't have, you know, the outlets every 6 feet that they have in newer homes today. But you definitely don't want to overload your extension cord for whatever appliance you're using. And typically you don't want to run a space heater on a extension cord. You know, you have to be very careful about what the amperage rating is of the cord. Because that cord will melt and burn, and you can overload the wires in the wall. So. Got
it. All of a sudden I had this flashback because I'm thinking, you know, extension cords, well, they have the big thick ones for outdoors and then they have the thinner ones for inside. So just use the outdoor ones inside. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking, Christmas lights. Have you ever like encountered issues with Christmas lights or light displays causing issues?
I haven't experienced it firsthand, but we did have a fire a few years ago that involved a Christmas tree. We don't know if
Okay.
it started in the Christmas tree, but
Okay. Because like outdoor lights, sometimes it's brighter than Las Vegas.
yeah. Hopefully people are retiring their old incandescent
Oh, okay.
ones and going with the LED.
The LEDs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that will reduce the risk because it's using
Yeah,
less
it's
power, electricity.
less heat.
Okay.
And
Oh my gosh, I remember growing up, we had these ginormous light bulbs on the Christmas tree that if you accidentally touched, you would get like 2-degree burns on your hand.
yes, yep,
Those are gone.
yep. And you had to
I'm not disappointed.
twist each one before you
Oh, I know.
hung it on the tree, make sure it lit up, and then when you put it on the tree, one of them would loosen up and
They'd all go out.
yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Well, you mentioned smoke detectors.
Yes.
Some smoke detectors are like wired into the house.
Yeah. So the evolution of the smoke detectors with the different building codes and
Okay.
practices over the years,
Okay.
they've become part of a new home. They're required to be
Okay.
hardwired.
Okay.
And they're interconnected. So
Okay.
if there's a fire in the basement,
Okay.
they will all go off and they'll let you know that,
Okay.
on the
There is a fire
second
somewhere
floor,
on the.
it
Okay.
will say fire.
Okay.
And it might even say fire in basement.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can program them to say that. After that, if you don't have a home that was built in that era, then you can use the
battery operated. ones?
battery operated.
Okay.
So the only ones that are allowed in Massachusetts are the 10-year sealed battery. You remember how every time you change the clock, you were supposed to
Yeah.
change the battery?
And a little like 9-volt battery.
Well, most people didn't change the battery when they changed the clock. And so,
But it was such a good marketing campaign.
yep, yep. But people didn't do it, so now they have 10-year sealed batteries.
Okay.
So you only have to change it, well, you have to change the whole unit
Okay.
after 10 years.
Okay. Does it remind you that it needs changing?
Yep.
Or okay.
They will chirp. They will chirp when the battery starts to die.
And it's usually like at 4 a.m.
Yep. And then you go into your drawer, your kitchen drawer, your junk drawer, and pull out the old instructions that you put in 9 years ago and say, what does 3 beeps mean? And it usually means that the battery's dying.
I would just go straight for the baseball bat. Stop.
Yeah.
Although I'm really curious about like the hardwired ones. What happens if there's like a power failure?
They have a battery backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if your house is on fire and like the wires in the wall get disturbed,
Yep.
how does the system still work?
They have battery backup.
Okay.
So most home systems will have a battery in the individual
Okay.
smoke detectors.
And you can't stop the communication of one to the other. So once, like if there's like a false alarm or something, they're all going off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully it's the kind that tells you which one it is.
That would be nice.
Yeah. And this sometimes an indicator light, red
Like on
light,
the unit itself.
that will tell you which one is actually activated.
Oh, okay.
So,
If a smoke detector did go off in your house, what would you advise someone to do? Because
call 911 and tell us.
don't wait for a fire or smell smoke, it's just, okay, my fire alarm's going off.
Well, they're going off for a reason.
Okay.
Could be a malfunction, but it might be a fire. So
Okay.
it's better for you to get out and,
Okay.
and call us, and
Okay.
then we'll show up, and we'll determine whether it.
Make sure that
Yeah.
it's, okay.
Yeah.
What about carbon monoxide detectors?
Mm-hmm.
Are they also like hardwired? Is it the same system? Is it a different system?
So you can have combination smoke and CO.
Okay.
What you need is, for smoke detectors, you need one at the bottom of the stairs at a minimum
Okay.
of every flight of stairs.
Okay.
And then outside the bedroom sleeping area.
Okay.
So typically on a standard colonial, there'll be one at the top of the stairs because it's outside the bedrooms, one at the bottom of the stairs on the first floor.
Okay.
Then you wrap around, and then the stairs going down to the basement, there'll be
Okay.
one at the bottom of those stairs. That's the bare minimum.
I
For
don't think my house is big enough for more.
some houses have them in every bedroom,
Okay.
so that's a plus for heavy sleepers.
Okay. Of which I am one.
But no matter how many smoke detectors you have, you
Okay.
have to have at least one carbon monoxide detector on every habitable floor. So basement, first floor, and second
Okay.
floor if you have a two-story. So
So even if it's the basement, if people can still be there? Like as in habitable, I'm thinking, not necessarily a bedroom, but just,
if you're hanging out in the basement.
Okay. If you can stand up. So you look.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what
I don't know.
basement type of basement you have. But
Okay.
you might have a crawl space, but
Okay.
in general, every habitable floor has to have a CO detector. So you can put one combo on the basement, one combo on the first floor, one combo on the second floor,
Okay.
and then the rest can be just smoke.
Do they still make just smoke detectors?
Mhm.
Okay. I thought they were always combo. What are some of the reasons why a carbon monoxide detector would go off? Is it like wood burning stoves, or is it?
Anything that burns a fossil fuel, and wood stoves. Yeah. So
Okay.
anything that burns something, cooking can,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
especially with a gas stove.
Oh, okay.
I remember one Thanksgiving, there's a family that was cooking Thanksgiving dinner from morning till mid-afternoon,
Okay.
and their detectors went off. And we went in there with our detectors,
Yeah.
our meters, and they had a low level of
Okay.
CO, but they had been cooking. The stove had been on all day.
Oh, wow.
So,
And it was a gas stove?
and it just built up.
Oh, okay.
So fortunately, CO detectors are set to go off at a fairly low level.
Okay.
So
Now,
it
is that why?
tells you that it's building up.
Oh, okay. What is, you mentioned stoves, and it just kind of brought me on a tangent about like stove vents and fans.
Mhm.
And like, I don't think, we don't have gas, we have an electric stove, but the fan does not vent outside.
Yep.
Is that, am I putting myself in harm's way?
No, no, you're not.
Okay.
As I said, that person that was cooking,
Okay.
it took all day
Okay.
for it to get to that point.
You've never seen me cook. No. All right. Don't say anything, Gwyneth. I know. Okay. So, do carbon monoxide detectors also have that 10-year life or battery life
Yes.
or?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
7 to 10 years.
Okay.
You just got to follow the manufacturer's recommendations.
Okay.
But Massachusetts, it's 10 years and replace your detectors.
Okay.
And for the most part, even though they're supposed to last up to 10 years,
Okay.
they will be letting you know.
Under no doubt whatsoever.
And
Okay.
sometimes it is inconvenient, 2 in the morning. But
Yeah.
what's that chirp?
And then you're like walking around the house and it's like gone.
Yeah,
You finally fall back asleep.
yeah.
What is the stance or practice for having fire extinguishers in your house? Is that still like, is it a requirement? Is it a suggestion?
It's not a requirement. It is a suggestion, and it's a
Okay.
very good suggestion that you have one of those
Yeah, they're like
little portable handheld.
about the size of like a 1-liter soda
Yeah,
bottle
yeah.
almost. Okay.
Yep.
What's
have
the
it
shelf life for
handy.
something like that? Do they go
Um,
bad?
I think it's 10 to 12 years.
Okay.
Um,
So what happens at the end of the 10 years? Because it's not going to scream at you. Does it just like lose its aerosol factor? Or
yeah, some of them
something, or-
have like a pressure gauge,
Okay.
and it will slowly
That's what I'm thinking of.
tick down that
Okay.
it's lost its pressure over time.
Okay.
So,
But if it's still like in the green area, it might not need replacing
Right.
yet? Okay.
right. But in general, we replace every 10
Every
to 12
10 years.
years.
Got it.
10 years for
Nice
your
round number.
smoke detectors,
10
10 years for your extinguishers.
It'd be nice if it were all the same 10 years, so you'd only have to do it once
Yep.
instead of this year, the next year. With those fire extinguishers,
hmm
are they meant for a particular kind of fire? Because isn't it like chemical versus, electrical fires and, by
Yes.
cooking and,
So in general, the ones that you get for home fire safety,
okay,
those little ones that we're talking about are ABC, and they are like a dry chemical
Okay.
powder.
okay,
So an A fire is like wood, paper, cardboard.
okay.
A B is flammable liquids like
Gasoline?
gasoline,
Okay,
grease fire,
okay,
and then C is charged electrical equipment.
oh,
So you
okay.
can use it on charged electrical equipment without getting shocked, unlike a water extinguisher,
Okay,
which will bring that current back to you.
Not a
And
good
you
thing.
don't want to use water on a grease fire. So the ABC that you get for a home
okay.
safety kit is good.
Well, now I'm seeing commercials for like those blankets that, it's like in a little box and you take it off and you just dump it over the fire. Should we like replace our fire extinguishers to be blankets or?
I wouldn't recommend those blankets.
Okay.
Just on a personal note, because I've seen how people try to use it,
Okay.
and
You might fan the fire.
you have to walk up to the fire
Okay.
and try and get it on top of say it's on a stovetop fire, try and
Okay.
get it on top of there, and because of the wind, it floats and you miss.
Yeah.
So the better is, well, actually better thing for a stove fire is put a lid on it.
Okay.
It's very quick and simple, and it does the same thing that blanket would do.
Cut the oxygen.
It occludes the oxygen from getting there. So
Okay.
when you're cooking, especially if it's greasy, have that the lid to that pan, or it doesn't have to be that pan, but something that's going to fit on top.
Just put a cover that is not flammable.
Yeah, don't throw it at it. Just calmly put it.
Which
on there.
probably explains the warning on my toaster oven / air fryer. If contents ignite, do not open the door. and unplug. It actually says that, so I'm like, okay. Kind of makes you wonder what you're cooking in your toaster oven, but okay. We're talking about, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and I remember a long time ago being in elementary school. It was always have a family escape plan or a family emergency plan where if the smoke detector goes off, meet at this location. Do you still suggest people doing that?
Oh yeah, have an escape plan.
Okay.
Have a meeting spot. Have an alternative meeting spot in case that first one is inaccessible.
Okay.
And then practice it.
2 exits. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. However you can get out.
Okay.
But then once you get out,
Where to
then
go?
go to your meeting spot, and if one isn't accessible, use another,
Okay.
and practice.
Okay. Stop.
Shouldn't
drop,
take
and-
a lot of practice.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Stop, drop, and roll is still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Stop, drop, and roll. Very effective if you're alone,
Okay.
because you're basically smothering it yourself by,
Okay.
you're not rolling down the hill like you did when you were a kid. You're rolling and trying
Oh, okay.
to
No.
smother
Okay.
it. But if you're alone, that's your best bet.
I can just picture somebody rolling down like Simon's Park Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I should not joke. I should
But
not joke.
it's similar to if someone putting not a fire, well, if they had a fire blanket, but
Okay.
some sort of blanket, a coat, or something over you, and,
Okay.
and trying to smother the flames, prevent the oxygen from getting to the fire that's there.
So put your coat on and then stop, coat, drop, roll. Got it. Okay. What else am I thinking of? Yeah, I'm also curious with the whole stop, drop, and we were talking about bedrooms.
Yes.
Doors open or closed?
Advised to be closed.
Okay.
So a closed door is a barrier for
Okay.
not only fire, but the products of combustion. So you close your bedroom door,
Okay.
and there's a fire downstairs. It's going to go up. The smoke's going to go up the stairs.
Okay.
And in that smoke is all the bad stuff that first can knock you out and incapacitate you and not be able to
Get up and leave.
get up. So
Okay.
that's unfortunately how some people perish, is that they don't even have the chance to
Okay.
get up. So if you have your door closed, it's going to minimize the entrance of that
Okay.
products of combustion or the smoke.
Okay. Breathing the
Yeah.
crap that's in it, or the chemicals, and kind of
Yeah.
makes you wonder what's in the smoke. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, CO is in there, but also just the particles.
Okay. The burnt whatever
Yeah.
is burning.
Yep.
And crawling around is better because you're
Stay
Everything.
low. The heat rises, and with that heat is all the
chemical
all the bad stuff.
bad stuff. Okay. I think it was when I was growing up, and I think still might see it today, or like the stickers on the windows saying there's a kid in here. But then like safety advocates are like, no, don't advertise which is the kid's room, because then somebody will come and break in and kidnap the kid and all that kind of stuff. Well, whether or not that happens, I don't know. But is that still something that your team would like to see on houses?
It's not necessary.
Or pets, or
We're going to go in, say it's 2 a.m. We don't see anybody outside the home.
Okay.
We know people are inside the home. The cars
Okay.
in the driveway, in the garage. So we're going in and we're going to search
Okay.
everywhere. And, 2 in the morning, we're going to go upstairs and search that floor to,
Okay.
or, even if it's a ranch, we're going to go in, down the hall, check all the bedrooms. Our practice is to check the bedroom, and if we don't find anything, close that door. Again, it stops the fire from spreading
Okay.
into that room, but it also signals to anyone else that we've already checked that door.
But what if it's closed to begin with?
Well, we,
Oh, okay.
uh,
Okay. How many
in,
people
in
would
order,
normally
in order to, how long do you think it would take to search a ranch house, or even a second floor of a
Like a split level?
colonial?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you go up.
2 minutes?
They're all built the same, right? So you go down
Yeah.
down the hall, and it's 2 or 3 bedrooms, and
Cookie cutter houses.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and we also have the thermal imaging camera, which
Oh my
we
gosh,
can
those things are
we can
so
have it and
cool.
scan that room,
Okay.
and the silhouette of a human would be right there.
Okay.
So
Now, do you use those thermal imaging cameras for like electrical fires that might be hiding in the wall or something?
yep.
Okay.
It has the ability to show us that a wall is warmer than its surrounding
Okay.
area.
And it shouldn't be.
And
Or it should be.
Some of the models have a temperature gauge.
Okay.
So if we point it at the wall and it says it's 500 degrees, we know something wrong.
Does that equipment stay on a truck? Is it in a supervisor's vehicle? Because I can only imagine that it's kind of expensive to get a thermal imaging anything.
Yeah, so
How do you prioritize who gets it?
we have one on virtually every piece of apparatus.
Cool.
We have one on engine 1, we have one on engine 2, the tower, the command car, the backup engine. So everybody has one
Okay.
available to them. And unfortunately, that came out of the deaths of the guys out in Worcester.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And there was a huge call for that technology after that, because they just, 2 of them went in and got lost, and then 2 more went in to go find them. Now, had they had a,
Well, the first 2 went in because they were told there were people in there.
Yeah.
And there weren't.
yeah, but the if they had a thermal imaging camera, then would it have helped? No one really knows.
Right.
But there was a huge outcry for that technology after that, and
Okay.
the state actually funds grants annually, and if you're in need of one, you can apply for a grant,
Okay.
and to help you pay for it.
How quickly does technology change, whether it's the thermal imaging camera or any equipment on any of the apparatus, any of your trucks? How often do you have to replace one of the trucks?
Well, the trucks are scheduled to last for 20 years.
Okay.
And so we have a schedule to replace one every 5 years.
Okay.
And by the time you're replacing that 4th one, that oldest one is 20 years old,
Then it's the next in line.
we trade that in, get a couple of bucks for it,
Okay.
and then we have a new engine.
But I'm also thinking like, either the gear that you guys wear or the oxygen tanks or anything else that could help you do your job. How quickly does technology change, and how quickly can you respond and adapt to those changes?
Well, the technology is changing every year.
Okay.
It's improving all of our equipment. Those thermal imaging cameras used to be little black and white
Okay.
screen. Now they're a little bit bigger and they're colorized. But not only are they bigger, but now you have ones that are integrated into your air pack,
Oh,
where
cool.
it's one's
Okay.
just hanging there and you can use it. So the technology has
Okay.
expanded those types of things.
Wow.
As for how well we can keep up with it, it's, we pretty much stay on a schedule of replacing expensive
Okay.
equipment. So we're not going to buy a fire engine this year and say, oh, there's a new doodad. We're going to get another one this year.
This one has heated seats. Okay.
We're going to stick to the schedule,
Okay.
and those advancements will come with the next engine, the
Okay.
next piece of equipment. A lot of the exciting stuff that maybe not too exciting, but like the jaws of life. We used to run those off of a hydraulic generator.
Yeah, those are really loud.
A separate generator and hoses that ran hundreds of feet, and now we don't need that separate generator. We actually had the generator integrated into the truck,
Okay.
but now there's battery operated,
Oh, cool.
and you don't have that hundreds of
Hose.
feet of hose, and you just need the tools and
Okay.
some spare batteries, and you're good to go. And they're
Cool.
more powerful than the ones we had 20 years ago.
Wow.
Those keep getting stronger. Of course, the cars keep getting
Cheaper?
no more difficult to.
Oh, okay.
They're using stronger materials
Okay.
on some cars.
Because some drivers are stupid, so they
Yeah.
have to make the cars
Well,
smarter.
the passenger compartment is, not no longer, but less of a intrusion into the passenger compartment with
Oh,
modern cars, because they're built. That compartment is built so strong.
What are some things that the general community can do to make your life easier? Like, I remember the adopt a hydrant, when it snows, make sure you dig it out. What are some other things that everybody can do just to make your job easier?
Yeah, adopt a hydrant is really great. When we get a lot of snow, we will go out and shovel
Okay.
as much as we can, but it's a long and arduous thing
Yeah.
to shovel every hydrant in town.
Right.
And wouldn't you want your hydrant cleared
Yeah.
before we can get to it?
Before we needed it.
And sometimes it's a heavy wet snow, and then the next night it's 10 degrees out, and
And then it freezes, and it's
if you need that hydrant and it's buried, it's pretty difficult
or
to
under
get
an
to.
iceberg.
Yes, yep. But some things that people don't think about is like clearing not just their driveway for themselves, but what if you had an accident and we had to
Wheel like
get
one of the
into your home,
Oh,
wheel
okay.
the stretcher to
Okay.
your home? It's pretty difficult pushing it up or down a
Okay.
hill if it's icy. So that, clearing your
Clear the snow.
clearing your driveway and walkways
Okay.
for access, just in case.
Cool.
Um,
Well, you know what? You're just going to have to think about that later and come back and tell me, because we're out of time.
oh, really?
Yes, we are. So thank you. I love learning about, all the really cool technology and just general practices to keep everybody safe
Yeah.
and, statistically what we need to look out for. So thank you for coming. And
You're
I also
welcome.
want to thank everyone at home for tuning in. I hope you stay safe, stay warm, and let's make sure that we all live happy, healthy, safe lives. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you around town. Good night.